All right, welcome back to another episode of Chip Theory. Today I'm going to be discussing a modal key, another modal key. This is Mixolydian mode. It's going to be the fifth mode of the major scale. Here we're starting with the notes, the Chip's laid out with our note B on the far left here. This is going to be our keynote for this episode's Mixolydian scale. We're looking at B Mixolydian as a scale and as a series of chords or its own sort of key center. So B Mixolydian. The first thing we want to realize when we're looking at a Mixolydian mode is the pattern for Mixolydian scales, which is going to be simply the Aeolian pattern in inverse. So if we can say our Aeolian pattern descending, we know our Mixolydian mode. So it's going to be a whole, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, series of whole steps and half steps. Again, that's simply the Aeolian pattern descending. So our Aeolian pattern was whole, half, whole, half, whole, and our Mixolydian is that simply reversed. Whole, half, half, whole. Keeping that in mind, the second thing we want to realize is the key of which our B Mixolydian scale will be derived from. So B being the fifth note of its relative major key, we're going to bring our B down here to the right. Here you can see B comes to the right of a series of blue chips. These are like the black keys on the piano. And we're simply going to count down from our B note. 7 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which brings us to the E note right here on the right side of these two blue chips here. So our B Mixolydian scale will have the same key signature as an E major scale, that being its relative major note, B being the fifth mode of the E scale. Realizing this, we know we're 7 half steps this way. We're going to be 5 half steps from this direction, from B to E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means E is going to land on the 4th degree of our Mixolydian modal scale. So we could simply play our E major scale starting on the note B and achieve our B Mixolydian mode, or we can use the pattern of the Aeolian mode in inverse of a whole step, a whole step. Here's our half step to a relative major of E, whole step, half step, and of course the final whole step will be back to B, from A to B. Okay, let's remove the notes that are not in our B Mixolydian mode. And we're left with the notes. It was B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, and B. Again, that pattern coming up was whole, half, half, whole. And you can see now, if we look at the same scale descending, we have a different pattern. This is going to be our Aeolian pattern. So it's important to realize when we're looking for our modal scales that the patterns we use are ascending only to find that particular mode. Here we have the Aeolian mode coming down. Whole, half, half, whole. Again, this is our B Mixolydian mode. So we're left with the notes B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A natural. Now, something to realize here, if we compare our B scale here to a B major scale, normally the 7th degree here is an A sharp in B major. B major has 5 sharps, F, C, G, D, and A. And so what we have here is essentially a 7th note, the A sharp, that has been flatted to A natural due to this being the fifth mode of our relative major of E. So here you can see the E key with 4 sharps for a relative major E. And if we were to move our E note down, we actually have our E major scale in this position here. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp. And if we were to number a relative major, we'd have, E would be degree 1, F sharp is 2, G sharp is 3, A is 4, B is 5. This is our B Mixolydian modal note that we're talking about today, our B Mixolydian, the 5th degree of E. And we have C sharp would be 6, and D sharp is 7. It's important to realize and number our Ionian mode scale degrees so that when we move back to our Mixolydian position here, we know that we have the scale degrees 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, and 4 of our relative major, of our E, right? So 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4 for those scale degrees. Okay, understanding that, we can derive the triads of our B Mixolydian mode like this, using alternating scale tones. Here we have our scale degrees that are based on the E major, relative major, 5, 7, and 2. Here's going to be a B, D sharp, and F sharp, which is a major triad. Our second triad is going to be 6, root 3 of E, so C sharp, E, and G sharp, which is a minor triad. Our third sort of triad here of B Mixolydian is going to be the 7, 2, 4 scale degrees. The 7, 2, 4 scale degrees are always diminished in major keys. It's going to be D sharp, F sharp, and A, which is diminished. D sharp, F sharp, A. 7, 2, and 4 from our relative major. Our fourth position triad is the relative major. It's going to be the E, G sharp, and B, or root 3, 5. In the fourth position, E, G sharp, and B. Our 5 chord here in Mixolydian is minor. It's the 2, 4, 6 scale degrees from our relative major. F sharp, A, and C sharp. F sharp minor triad. Here in the 5th position of B Mixolydian. Again, Mixolydian chords have a minor 5 chord. Our 6th position is also minor. It's the 3, 5, 7 minor of E, and G sharp, B, and D sharp. The G sharp minor triad. And here our flat 7 triad is the 4, 6, and root from a relative major. A, C sharp, and E, or an A major triad, a flat 7, A major. Again, so our chord qualities were a major, minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, and a flat 7 major triad. Using that same principle of alternating scale degrees, we can derive our 7th chords the same way using alternating scale tones. Our scale degrees thus 5, 7, 2, and 4 from our relative major of E. It's going to give us the result of B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. Again, this is the 5, 7, 2, 4 and it's a dominant 7 chord. The Mixolydian mode is known to be called the dominant chord, the dominant mode, for its flat 7 note, and the 1 chord is a dominant chord, meaning that it has a minor third here stacked on top of a major triad. So we have our 5-7-2 major triad of B, D sharp, F sharp, with our minor third F sharp to A natural, the 2 degree to the 4 of a relative major on the top. So this 5-7-2-4 scale degrees are always a dominant 7. It's always going to have a 1 plus 2 here between the 7 and the 2, and a 2 plus 1 interval here between the 2 and the 4 in all keys, right? 5-7-2-4 scale degrees. Our second chord here was the 6-3-5 chord. It's going to be C sharp, E, G sharp, and B. Again, this is a minor 7 chord, C sharp, E, G sharp, B, 6-3-5 scale degrees from a relative major. Again, this is the 6th chord, a minor 7 chord with a 2 plus 1 here on the bottom and a 1 plus 2 interval here for its minor thirds. In the second position here of Mixolydian. Our third position chord of Mixolydian was the 7-2-4-6, and it's going to be a half diminished D sharp, F sharp, A, and C sharp. Again, 7-2-4-6 scale degrees are always a half diminished 7 chord. In this case, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp. And we have a major third here. A to C sharp is a major third on top of this diminished triad. D sharp, F sharp, and A. It's going to have a 1 plus 2 interval here for its minor third and a 2 plus 1 for this minor third. Meaning that from 7 to 2 here we have a 2 plus 1. You have D sharp to E is a 1, and an E to F sharp is 2. So 1 plus 2 here between the 2 and the 4. I'm sorry, that's wrong. We have 1 plus 2 here and a 2 plus 1 here. So between the 7 and 2 is a 1 plus 2. And between the 2 and the 4, these two notes, we have an F sharp to G sharp is 2, and G sharp to A is 1. So 2 plus 1 here between the 2 and the 4 of our 7-2-4-6 half diminished 7 chord. Here on the third position of B Mixolydian. Our fourth position chord was our relative major. It's a root 3-5-7, E, G sharp, B, and D sharp. Again, this is a standard major 7 chord, root 3-5-7. It's going to be a 4-3-4 spacing with a 1 plus 2 interval here for its minor third. Our 5 position chord was a minor 2-4-6 root, F sharp, A, C sharp, and E. Again, the 2-4-6 root chord has 2 plus 1s for its minor thirds, which 3-4-3 spacing. We have 2 plus 1s for both minor thirds. Our 6th chord is a 3-5-7-2 scale degrees. G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. Again, the 3-5-7-2 is a minor 7 chord in this case G sharp minor 7. It's going to have 1 plus 2s for its minor thirds. Again, it's the same quality, a 3/4/3 spacing, as the 5 chord and the 2 chord. However, the minor thirds are slightly different. These have 1 plus 2s for both. This has a 2 plus 1 for both. And the 6 chord here has a 2 plus 1 and a 1 plus 2. Again, our flat 7 chord here was the A major 7, A, C sharp, E, and G sharp. Again, this was our flat 7, major 7, and A major 7, the 4/6 root 3 scale degrees. Here on the 7th position. It's a 4/3/4 spacing with a 2 plus 1 interval of the minor third between the 6 and the root. Okay, so those are going to be your chords of B Mixolydian. We have a B7, B dominant 7. You have a C sharp minor 7, D sharp half diminished, E major 7, F sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7, and a flat 7, A major 7. Now, assuming that our scale degrees don't change, I'm going to discuss the inversions now. And I'll be discussing the interval quality for our inversions. So here we had a dominant 7. It's a 4/3/3 spacing for B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. When we invert this, we have the 3/3/2 position, D sharp, F sharp, A, and B, to our 3/2/4, F sharp, A, B, and D sharp, to our 2/4/3, A, B, D sharp, F sharp. Coming down is F sharp, D sharp, B, A, D sharp, B, A, F sharp, B, A, F sharp, D sharp, and A, F sharp, D sharp, B for B dominant 7. Second chord here was a 3/4/3 spacing, C sharp, E, G sharp, B. When we invert this, we have a 4/3/2 position starting on E, E, G sharp, B, C sharp, to a 3/2/3 spacing starting on G sharp, B, C sharp, and E, to a 2/3/4 starting on B, B, C sharp, E, G sharp. Coming down was G sharp, E, C sharp, B, E, C sharp, B, G sharp, C sharp, B, G sharp, E, and B, G sharp, E, C sharp. Our third position chord was our half diminished chord, the 7/2/4/6 half diminished 7, D sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp. Again, it's a 3/3/4 spacing, half diminished chord. When we invert those, we have a 3/4/2 position starting on F sharp, A, C sharp, and D sharp. For second inversion, a 4/2/3 starting on A, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, to our 2/3/3 position starting on C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, and A. Coming down is A, F sharp, D sharp, C sharp, F sharp, D sharp, C sharp, A, D sharp, C sharp, A, F sharp, and C sharp, A, F sharp, and D sharp, or D sharp half diminished 7. The third position of Mixolydian mode is the half diminished chord. Our fourth position chord was the relative major, E, G sharp, B, and D sharp. This is a 4-3-4 spacing. When we invert it, we have a 3-4-1 starting on G sharp, and then B, D sharp, and E, to a 4-1-4 starting on B, D sharp, E, G sharp, to our 1-4-3 starting on D sharp, E, G sharp, and B. Coming down is B, G sharp, E, D sharp, G sharp, E, D sharp, B, E, D sharp, B, G sharp, root position, D sharp, B, G sharp, and E. Our 5 chord was minor, the 2-4-6 root, scale degrees, F sharp, A, C sharp, and E. Again, that's a 3-4-3 spacing. When we invert it, we have a 4-3-2 starting on A, C sharp, E, F sharp, to our 3-2-3 spacing starting on C sharp, E, F sharp, and A, to a 2-3-4 starting on E, F sharp, A, and C sharp. Coming down to C sharp, A, F sharp, E, A, F sharp, E, C sharp, F sharp, E, C sharp, A, and E, C sharp, A, F sharp, here on the 5th position of B Mixolydian, F sharp minor 7. Here on the 6th position was the G sharp minor 7, G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. Again, it's another 3-4-3 spacing. When we invert it, we have a 4-3-2 spacing starting on B, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, to our 3-2-3 position, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, B, to our 2-3-4 position, F sharp, G sharp, B, and D sharp. Coming down is D sharp, B, G sharp, F sharp, B, G sharp, F sharp, D sharp, G sharp, F sharp, D sharp, B, and F sharp, D sharp, B, G sharp. Again, our flat 7 chord was our A major 7, A, C sharp, E, G sharp, a 4-3-4 spacing. When we invert this, we have a 3-4-1 starting on C sharp, E, G sharp, and A, to a 4-1-4 starting on E, G sharp, A, C sharp, to a 1-4-3 starting on G sharp, A, C sharp, and E. Coming down is E, C sharp, A, G sharp, C sharp, A, G sharp, E, A, G sharp, E, C sharp, and G sharp, E, C sharp, and A for our flat 7, A major 7. Again, these are our chords of B Mixolydian. We have a B dominant 7, C sharp minor 7, D sharp half diminished, E major 7, F sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7, and a flat 7, A major 7. Those are your chords of the scale of B Mixolydian, the 5th mode of E major.